Hey guys, this is a video that I'm not going to put on my main channel for reasons I'll explain a little bit, but it's a video that I wanted to put out so that I wouldn't have to explain every single time someone asked me this question of Dado, are you quitting YouTube? And the answer is no, at least not right now. I am not. And you might be wondering, why are you making this video? I had no idea. Well, some people have been asking, where's all the content? Where's videos? What's going on? And all this kind of stemmed from a World of Warcraft stream that I did about 2 weeks ago with Holtzman. And we're just kind of talking about our frustrations with YouTube, about how we don't have any content to make anymore, and it's just really frustrating that we're in this dry period again and again and again and again. And when I say issues with YouTube, I do not mean that like YouTube algorithm change drama that like all the big YouTubers were talking about a few weeks ago. I do not mean that. With Destiny, it's pretty obvious why people are not subscribing and tuning in. It's just Destiny is on the downslope right now. There's nothing. So not the algorithm stuff. And so that got me thinking, like, how many more times am I going to be willing to go through this period of just nothing, of having to make up problems that don't even exist and then answer them for videos? How many more times am I going to do this? And the answer is probably zero. Probably zero more times. This is going to be the last time, because it's insanity. It is absolute insanity to try to keep with this game on YouTube besides just like PvP gameplays, right? No one cares about the raid anymore. It's just the only thing that's active now is trials on Twitch, and that's it. And if you're not doing trials, forget it. I don't want to go through these periods of just nothing anymore. It's obnoxious. It's so frustrating being the kind of person I am on YouTube, because I'm not an entertainer. I'm an educator. And when you're an educator on YouTube, when you stick with one game forever, it's very, very difficult to do anything else. And I knew that going in. I knew that one day I was just going to have to give it up. And I never wanted to be the guy who didn't know when they should give it up. And I'm steadily approaching that point, right? I'm approaching guy who does not know when to give it up point on the YouTube channel. And so I'm basically on involuntary hiatus right now, because, I kind of know how things would pan out if I were to start doing more variety stuff, like one video a day on just whatever the hell. It would be flatline, or it would just steadily go down. Because I for 2.5 years or 3 years or whatever, how long I've been doing this, I have never really been like comedy guy, and a lot of people do not give that kind of content a chance, even though I think it's actually pretty good. So I generally know what would happen, and if I were to leave, I would want to go out with some dignity instead of trying to like divert to something else and then having it fail and then just like slowly melting away. The issue with YouTube, or maintaining a YouTube channel, is that you have to constantly make stuff. And I realize that sounds really stupid, right? Because obviously if you run a YouTube channel, you need to keep making content. But in a case like Destiny, you as a player can leave Destiny and then come back when there's new stuff. Me as a YouTuber, I cannot do that, right? Because if I stop making content, the channel just dies. People forget about you. People see that you're inactive. They just leave, and then probably won't come back. And so that's where a lot of the frustration stems from, is having to make stuff even though there's nothing to talk about. And like I said earlier, I don't know how many more times I want to do that, because it's driving me insane. It's not fun, and it's just frustrating. And so the reason I'm not putting a video like this on the main channel is, number one, people don't care about YouTuber problems. They just don't. A lot of people don't consider YouTube to be a real job. So they just see it as, oh, YouTuber doesn't have a real job, complaining you can't do his YouTube job. That's what people would view this video as. I'm not looking for sympathy, by the way. I'm just expressing my frustrations right now. Number two is that you should never tell your subscribers that you don't have any more ideas, because that is not very inspiring, and people will take a video like this to be, oh, he's not going to make any more videos, I'm going to just unsubscribe. And I realize that a dead subscriber, not literally, but a viewer or someone who is subscribed who doesn't watch any of your videos is not helpful whatsoever. But just doesn't look that good. It's not very fun to deal with. So I'm sure there's something else that I missed, but I don't have a script for this video. So that's just kind of all I wanted to vent out to you guys. You know, I'm not quitting YouTube right now. I am on involuntary hiatus. But I will say that if Destiny 2 is not something really special, like really good, that I would probably just quit, because I don't want to go through this anymore. I would quit YouTube, that is. I'd probably still play Destiny, but like a normal person, you know, you play it when there's stuff, and then you leave when there's nothing. Because I would rather work a real job or do something else where it's a little more stable than having to keep worrying about, you know, having YouTube content. So wherever I end up, I don't know. I'm going to be looking. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm not quitting. But if Destiny 2 is just more of the same of Destiny 1, I would probably quit YouTube. The only way that I think I would stick around is if Destiny 2 is probably like above and beyond all expectations. And I'm pretty skeptical of that. Pretty dang skeptical of that happening, because Bungie has placed a lot of limitations on themselves that they are or don't appear to be willing to budge on. And if you're willing to take any sort of credibility from that Kotaku article that came out many months ago about how Bungie's tools are inefficient and they suck and yada yada, that also does not inspire much hope. Luke Smith and his team, inspiring. You know, he's old school World of Warcraft guy like I am. I got faith in him. But I'm just skeptical for now. They're gonna have to prove that they're gonna put out something special, and if they don't, it was nice knowing you. So sorry to be all doom and gloom, but I just want to put this out there for people who ask, so I can just link it, and I don't have to keep explaining myself over and over. So have a good rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Hope you all had a good New Year, and I'll see you next time. That's what I got to deal with right there. Every 5 seconds. Just